What is up, y'all? It is Mr. Krugs, and we are coming at you live today with another devotional from the 365 Promises and Prayers for Dealing with Anxiety and Fear. These are devotionals that we work through every single day on stream, so make sure to check the description link down below for the link to my Twitch account and also any other social media accounts where you may want to go ahead and jump on and follow us. But Miss Krugs, are you ready to get into to today's devotional?
In the elegant words of SpongeBob, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Alrighty, well, today's devotional is entitled "You Can't Please Everybody, Nor Should You Try."
Hmm.
And the Bible verse that we'll be taking a look at today is going to be Galatians 1:10. And I do not have this in the New Living Translation or the English Standard Version. It's an HCSB version, which I'm not sure what that is, but I'm just going to read it straight out of the book for today. It says, by the way, that was Galatians 1:10. For am I now trying to win the favor of the people or God? Or am I striving to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a slave of Christ. So, what that's saying is it's talking about are you trying to please people or are you trying to please God?
Yeah, so the English version that I found is for am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ.
And I think that that's very, very true. But let's go ahead and get on into the actual devotional, and then we'll put our inputs and opinions into this. What do you say?
Okie dokie.
It says, if you are like most people, you'd like to gain the admiration of your neighbors, your coworkers, and most importantly, your family members. Some people, however, are impossible to please, and other people want you to please them by doing things that are contrary to your faith. It's perfectly natural to want to please other people, but you should never allow the fear of their rejection to overshadow your eagerness to please God. Would you like a time tested formula for successful relationships? Here's a formula that is proven and true. In every relationship you establish, seek God's approval first. Does this sound too simple? Well, perhaps it is simple, but it's also the only way to reap the marvelous riches that the Lord has in store for you. And then there's a quote in here from Warren Wearsby that says, "Pride opens the door to every other sin. For once we are more concerned with our reputation than our character, there is no end to the things that we will do just to make ourselves, quote, look good, end quote, before others." What are your thoughts on that, Miss Griggs?
Well, I think that the direction that I want to take it is like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
In today's society, we just seem to consume, consume, consume without, and for what? Like,
Well, there's that
if
old saying, you don't ever see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
this is true.
You can't take
Hmm.
anything with you whenever you go. You can't take your material belongings. You can't take your 401k. You can't take your stocks. You
Hmm.
can't take any of it.
Hmm.
And so it's like we work, we work, we work. We keep up with the Joneses, like you said.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, we're compromising our beliefs and our values based off of Christ, what Christ had said,
Right.
right?
So, like, for you and I, like, we want to homeschool our kids and we want to have, like, more of a homestead and just kind of like a slower pace of life, right?
Yeah.
Um, and like, I mean, if that means a double wide on, 30 acres, and that's a double wide on 30 acres.
Yeah.
But to other people, And like even to us, because we're people pleasers, we might like look down on ourselves like, well, no, we need to have this big, big fancy house on 30 acres in order to like mean something. But that's just not the case,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And I think just relating this back to our lives and how it has uh specifically impacted us is like with you at your prior job, right? I
Hmm.
know that there's a lot of tension right now in our financial state, but um with us being a one income household right now, you had a job and you left it
Hmm.
because you felt like God was telling you to leave because you were compromising your values and your morals for a
Well, I was
paycheck.
lying to people.
Yeah,
And then I was trying to get more money out of them. That's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to basically, but not lie. They just wanted me to not tell the whole truth. Limited truths.
yeah,
And then after I fixed their problem, they wanted me to upsell them for to something that they don't need.
yeah. So I think that just like going back to that is like at the end of the day, like we got to stick true to who we are
Mhm.
and where our values and morals are before we start going and trying to help or not trying to help, sorry, starting to people please others
Mhm.
and look a certain way before others because it doesn't even have to necessarily be people pleasing, right? Like it's people pleasing ourselves in the way that
Right.
we want ourselves put on a pedestal so we can receive that admiration and that um confidence from other people, right? Those compliments,
Well, and
so
it
to speak.
also creates prejudice. Like, let me tell you a story really quick. Whenever I was in high school, I wouldn't wear anything less than Ralph Lauren Polo or Lacoste. If you don't know those brand, well, you probably know Polo, but Lacoste is even more expensive than Polo. And I was on the golf team and I had to have the best of the best. And for what? Just to look a certain way,
Yeah,
and it was to heighten my ego that I was better than I actually was. Like, and then whenever I met Mr. Krugs, he grew up in a different socioeconomical, economic level than I did because I was middle class slash upper middle class, whereas he wasn't.
yeah,
He had a single mom, and let me tell you, it truly changed um my whole belief system in a way,
yeah.
because I felt the need, and I was every time I'd like wear those clothes and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong. Like if you like those clothes, that's fine.
But it's
But
about not
I
allowing those.
held my identity in the
Yeah.
clothes, and that's what became the problem.
Really quick, I just want to recognize Gabby. Thank you for that daily check in and welcome in. You caught us right in the
Hmm.
middle of this devotional. So I just want to make sure that you know that we see you, we appreciate you. And going back to that story really quick, Miss Krugs, I want to touch on something that goes in line with what this devotional is about, right? And
Hmm.
you kind of opened the door, so I'm just gonna say it, but um, you wore those brands
Hmm.
as a way to project that everything was okay. You had a rough childhood, not because of your economic class, but because of some
Hmm.
other trauma, right?
Hmm.
And so it's almost like you wore those brands to put off this perception that your life was hunky dory, that it was good, that there was
Everything
nothing
was
wrong with
fine. Yeah.
you. But whereas with me, I grew up with a single mother and Walmart jeans were nice. Well, let's put it that way. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't, of course, I wanted the nicer things, right? But I didn't feel like my identity was tied to those nicer things because at the end of the day, everybody knew my mom as
Hmm.
being the awesome mom. And not awesome
Right.
as like, I want to be your friend, right? But like
No, no.
genuinely
She was a
caring
great
about
mom.
you, making homemade meals,
Hmm.
all that stuff. If I wanted to have some friends over for, a party or Friday night bonfire or whatever, like she would make dinner. She would, make sure all the snacks were out and stuff like that. And she would check in on my friends and be like, hey, are you doing okay? Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, in that sense, I
Like
don't
she like
have
never missed
that
a sporting
trauma,
event. Hmm.
right? whereas you do. And so like, I kind of wonder if that helps feed into why you were materialistic to those brands and I didn't feel that way. But either way, it's just
Yeah,
about
it was
pride,
also
right?
expected though, but it was also expected of me.
Yeah. No, and I get
But
that.
that's besides the point. So, is there a timely tip in today's thing?
No, there is not. It's just the prayer. So if
Okay.
everyone wouldn't mind closing your eyes, bowing your heads, getting into whatever your prayer posture looks like, and we'll go ahead and read today's prayer. The prayer says, Dear Lord, today I will strive to honor you with my thoughts, my actions, and my prayers, and I will focus less on pleasing people and more on pleasing you. Amen.
Amen. I think that's a good prayer.
I do too.
Well, you guys, thanks for tuning in to this today's devotional. What number was it again, honey?
It was devotional number 35.
Devotional number 3, 5. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button with the bell underneath to join our awesome community. We do post one of these every stream, and we do stream Sunday, Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. As always, much love, God bless, and peace.